Jesus Christ, we're over 2 fucking years into this, but yet here we are. We're still battling with the effects, the aftermath, and all that nonsense when it comes to the coof. But we have some good news until this gets challenged and kicked up to the high court. But for right now, it seems like a victory because some of the final vestiges of these nonsensical mask mandates and jab mandates are finally being struck down by some reasonable people that are actually looking at the quote-unquote science that's out there. So a federal judge strikes down CDC mask mandate for planes and interstate travel, you'd have to think. Center for Disease Control and Prevention mask mandate for airplanes and other forms of public transportation was struck down April 18th, that's today, by a federal judge. U.S. District Judge Catherine Kimball Mizell said that the CDC's rule exceeded the agency's statutory authority because its implementation violated administrative law. Mizell, a Trump appointee based in Florida, weird, directed the agency to reverse the policy nationwide in response to a lawsuit filed by the Health Freedom Defense Fund. The CDC violated the Administrative Procedure Act because it did not give notice before imposing the mandate on February 2021, Mizell wrote in the 59-page summary judgment. Interesting. So it's been in place since February 2021, and this is the first time that it's been challenged. At the time when the CDC issued the mandate, the COVID-19 pandemic had been ongoing for almost a year. 11 months. And COVID-19 cases were decreasing. Yep, still are. Oh no, Omicron. Okay, maybe not cases. Cases have kind of ebbed and flowed, like all viruses, if we're being fucking honest. But no, what about hospitalizations and deaths? Don't want to be talking about that now, do ya? The CDC will, but they won't trumpet those numbers now, will they? It's just cases. Oh my god, my cases. It's so transmissible, and my new subvariant, my super double stuffed narrative about how the new subvariant is gonna, wipe out the world. They won't tell you any difference between any of the other variants, now will they? The timing undercuts the CDC's suggestion that the action was so urgent that a 30-day comment period was contrary to the public interest. So, too, the CDC delay in issuing the mandate further undercuts its position. Yep, that makes sense. Listen, it's urgent that we implement this, but not so urgent that we can't have a full-length discussion on it. But it's still urgent, though, so you should implement it. I'm glad that at least this lady's fucking pointing out the hypocrisy of it. Mizell found that the mandate, which was imposed February 2021, exceeded the CDC's statutory authority. The agency claimed the Public Health Services Act of 1944 gave the power to regulate travelers, but the judge disagreed, finding that the law only grants the agency the ability to directly regulate individuals only if they are traveling into the United States from abroad or are reasonably believed to be infected with a communicable disease of a qualifying stage. A nice vague terminology that's there. And it's obviously written like that for such a reason. But if it's only for people coming into the country and it's not for interstate travel, we got a big fucking problem there. CDC and the White House did not respond to a request for comment because they're like, damn it, foiled again. It's not clear what the Department of Justice will do, and they will try to file an appeal, or how quickly the ruling will be implemented across the United States. Namely, at airports several weeks ago, the CDC announced that it would extend the mask mandate for as long as we want, because we need the pandemic on a back burner, in case every other nonsensical thing that we want to try just fucking fizzles out, so we can just come back and say, oh, new variant that's out there, everybody wear your mask, and get the 9th fucking jab. So we'll see where this goes from here, if the Department of Justice actually tries to do anything with it, because if they try to appeal it, this is obviously, federal judge that struck this down, so if it gets appealed, it might hit an appellate court, but eventually, at one point or another, it's going to have to get up to the Supreme Court, and do we want that to happen? Because you remember the last time that they got a COOF case, they went for one side, for the private employees, or the private side of the jab mandate for a business that has over 100 employees, they struck that one down, not for the liberals trying to implement it because we know better than you, we're the government. But then for the healthcare workers, it was a little bit more tenuous when most of the centrists came over to play. Kevin On Roberts, I'm looking directly at you. But then once another challenge comes across their desk, what do? Hide under said desk. The Supreme Court refuses to hear COVID-19 vaccine mandate challenge from teachers. Why? Why are they doing this? This is why. This is just such an obvious example as to why the Supreme Court is not your friend, and they are going to be here to reverse or change or help out anybody, because you'll hear from the media all the time, oh, it's a conservative dominated court. It's a 3-3-3 split that I've laid out countless fucking times. There's 3 conservatives, there's 3 centrists, and there's 3 liberals, and that's the way that it's going to stay for a long fucking time. United States Supreme Court on Monday refused to hear the New York City vaccine mandate challenge from teachers, meaning the mandate will be allowed to stand. The nation's high court rejected the case without comment, and provided no indication that any of the justices would take it. Why? 4 teachers who said the COOF-related rule violated their right to keep their profession took their appeal to the Supreme Court after a lower court left the New York City mandate in place. Why is there still? I don't know why this is still in place. Those teachers previously asked Justice Sotomayor, who oversees the state, obviously, to provide relief that would block the mandate from going into effect, which Sotomayor also rejected. She was the one who wants everybody to get all of the fucking jabs. And you remember that story that was floated out there not that long ago where it was debunked and all that shit. So that Sotomayor would only go into the Supreme Court and she would only hear arguments via teleconference because Gorsuch wouldn't wear a mask. Like I said, it was debunked and all that stuff, but that's the justice that you have to appeal to. Somebody where that just seems like it would be a plausible, somebody in that mental headspace. And you don't even have to go off that debunked story at all. No. There's real life examples. Just listen to some of her argumentation when it came to hearing those cases in front of the court. She is totally fucking possessed, okay? Your individual rights and freedoms do not supersede her own perceived safety. She's wild, dude. Absolutely wild. Under the mandate, all City Department of Education employees who did not comply with getting the jab by October 1st would be suspended without pay for up to 1 year. Could they come back after that year? But the teachers argued that the rule violated their due process rights and blocked them from practicing their profession because the city's Department of Education is the only agency in the city that publicly hires teachers. Exactly another reason why unions should be done away with. Vinu P. Varghese, yes, those are names, who represents the teachers, told Forbes on Monday that the teachers are disappointed in the result, but we will continue to fight to protect the due process rights of our teachers against the new administration of Mayor Eric Adams, who has sucked at every fucking turn. In February, New York City fired more than 1,400 employees who remained unvaccinated, and it's worked wonders for everything that's gone on in New York City. It's been on an upward trajectory lately. Don't ask for what metrics, though. Things are looking up if you're in certain industries. The case presents the court with the opportunity to address a critical constitutional issue, whether public school teachers have a fundamental right to practice their profession. Well, and then you could extrapolate that out to everybody. But I understand. The teachers wrote in their petition to the Supreme Court. Furthermore, the court can provide needed guidance to the lower courts regarding the flood of COOF mandate-related cases already pending and expected. In response, however, New York City attorneys argued that the petitioners made no attempt to explain how the vaccination requirements either prevented or even impaired their ability to work as teachers or paraprofessionals for another employer. Well, if you're the only ones hiring people, if this body is the only one hiring teachers, it kind of impairs them, and it looks like the Supreme Court just looked at it and went, nope, not dealing with it. We have nothing else to fucking talk about. Like, I don't even know what cases they're dealing with right now. They're too busy planning Stephen Breyer's retirement party. What a fucking joke. But hey, looks like they're going to have something on their hands here shortly, because God knows that this case right here is going to get appealed up to them in some form or fashion. So looks like right now, if you're going to be doing any traveling during the summer within the continental United States, you might not have to be forced to wear a mask. And that's a fucking big win for people out there. Sorry for the teachers in New York. You should be leaving that fucking disastrous place anyways. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.